boy Lou's ice cream cone. Big mess. Do you need something?
Yes, I need your help. We are friends, aren't we, Rita?
Sure.
I'm in big trouble, and I don't know who else to go to.
Well, I'll help if I can.
Rod fired Lee. They had a big fight, and he fired my husband.
Well, Lee's a good mechanic. He'll be able to find something else.
You don't understand. It's not the job I'm worried about. He's mean. If someone crosses him, Rita, he's mean.
Well, are you worried about Rodney or yourself?
No, I just don't want any trouble. You don't know him. He's not like Norm.
Well, don't knock him.
Look.
No, I mean it. It's not right to go around knocking your husband, even if it is just girls talking.
I've got something on my mind besides being polite. When Lee gets mad or hurt, he's got to lash out and hurt someone else. I've seen him.
Well, what can I do?
You can talk to Rod. Tell him it was a mistake. Lee stepped out of line, but it won't happen again. Tell him anything. Just get him to hire Lee back.
Why don't you talk to Rod?
I tried before he fired Lee. He wouldn't listen. I guess we don't talk the same language.
I can't ask Rod for any favors. I'm just his sister-in-law. Why should he listen to me?
He'll listen. He's got to. He owes it to you. Look what you did for him when you took the stand.
No.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
What Rod does is his own business. If he fired Lee, he must have had a good reason.
Look, Rita, we come from the same garbage dump. If we don't help each other out, we're lost.
I'm sorry, I'd like to help you, but I can't. Rod and Norm and my mother are my family. The only one I've ever had. I don't want to do anything to wreck that.
Lee and Chris is the only family I've got.
Then you'll have to look after your family as best you can, because I have to look after mine.
Well, how could Rod do it after what I told him, after I talked to him? And it was over nothing, over Betty Anderson. Now, you tell me, why would they fight over Rod's ex-wife? And why would he fire Lee over her?
I've been meaning to talk to you.
Fine. Call Miss Nolan. She'll make an appointment for you.
It's about the divorce. Betty's mother.
Well, I'd rather talk about it in the office. I'll have a chance to examine all the papers.
Just cancel everything, Stephen. Cancel everything and send me a bill. I'm sorry if I put you to any trouble.
Mrs. Anderson changed her mind.
You're being awfully bitter, Stephen.
Well, isn't that what happened?
She's going to pick up her life with George again. He's much better.
Tell me more about my family-in-law.
I was treading as lightly as possible. I didn't know how much you knew.
Well, you can always start with the assumption that I know nothing at all about my wife or about my wife's mother. Just to start with that assumption.
You're awfully bitter, Stephen.
Not at all. It's an honest look at things.
Maybe so. But if it'll help any, I didn't make it any easier on Betty's mother. I've been preoccupied.
So have I, unfortunately. Mr. Harrington, this morning in your son's garage. It's too bad I haven't been closer to Mrs. Anderson. I admire this, going back to her husband, when it's a very dated, almost Victorian concept of marriage, isn't it? It's refreshing. She took the vows, they had their problems, agonizing problems. But she's his wife. How simple.
How's Betty?
Mr. Harrington, you're fishing.
Yes, I am.
She's fine.
When she was married to Rodney.
I'll send you the bill.
Stephen.
You really hang on a man, don't you?
A few weeks ago, I told you that we might become allies, if that's the right word.
Allies against the PEYTON house.
I thought we could pool our information. Have you given it any thought?
Yes. We're a lot closer.
Good. Then maybe I'll take you up on that appointment. We could fight Morton PEYTON, the two of us together.
Mr. Harrington, you have the touch of a sledgehammer.
And on the other two, mark those blind copies.
Yes, sir.
Never good to let the right hand know what the left is doing.
happened. I'm okay.
Those cuts have to be clean. Come in here. What happened?
Lee Weber and I had a fight.
But why?
It's been building up a long time now, and today was the day.
What brought it on?
I don't know, it's been coming a long time. The minute I walked in that garage, I knew he and I'd have to tangle. I should have fired him then and there, but I needed him, and that crumb knew it.
Is there anything I can do?
It's all right, Mrs. Cord.
No problem. I held back and I held back. I swore to myself I'm not going to fight him.
But you did. Rod, you don't have to fight the losers. You don't have to prove anything to their kind.
You don't understand. A woman doesn't understand why a man has to fight sometimes.
And proving his manhood, but that's for kids. What could have been so important to make you fight him anyway? What was it?
You.
Me? But why?
It was after Stephen had been in.
What was Stephen doing there?
I don't know.
What, did he come there to see you?
No, Lee.
But why? What did they say to one another?
I don't know. I got in at the tail end of it.
Did he say anything about me?
No.
He did, didn't he? It was about my coming there to see you.
Betty, you've got to tell Stephen. Before this thing gets out of hand, you've got to tell him.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't? I don't want him thinking what he must think about me.
I just can't. Rod, please, let's not discuss it anymore.
I don't want your marriage ruined.
Well, if we just leave it alone, Stephen doesn't have to know about this, about the fight.
He'll know. I fired Lee Weber today. He'll know.
It's happened, hasn't it? It's blown right up in our faces. Mr. Peyton, we made an agreement. I want to be released from it.
I don't understand.
You and I made a pact. Now, I want out.
What happened out there?
Rod had a fight with his mechanic, and it wouldn't have happened if it hadn't have been for all this secrecy.
What does one to do with the other?
I was upset. I went to the garage to see Rod.
You didn't tell him what we discussed here.
No, I didn't tell him. But his mechanic saw us and drew up some conclusions. Rod felt that he had to defend me. Now, don't you see, if I just could have gone to my own husband and spoken to him openly, none of this would have happened.
Oh, is it Stephen you're concerned about, or Rodney?
Mr. Peyton, my husband looks at me as though I'm a stranger. Your grandson has just taken a vicious beating. Now, does someone have to be killed?
Rodney is young and strong. He'll recover from his bruises. You too are young and strong, and your marriage will endure.
Oh, really? Well, last night, Stephen turned away from me. It was all I could do not to tell him everything.
I'm holding you to your bargain.
We don't have a bargain, not anymore. Not unless you can give me a good reason.
We told you the reason.
You told me nothing.
We told you that you would bring Stephen's world crashing down around his head.
I don't believe you.
That's enough.
I'm going to Stephen.
Be quiet.
And if you do, you'll...
Both of you. What do you want, Betty? Specific information?
Maybe.
Would you be happier then? Would you be able to carry an enormous weight? The kind of weight Mrs. Cord and I have been carrying for so long? Would you be up to it?
Yes.
Fair enough. You're ready, of course, to accept the consequences.
Yes, I'm ready now.
Now?
Yes.
Bring me the phone, Mrs. Cord.
What are you going to do?
Bring me the phone.
Who are you going to call?
Stephen. If he's going to learn the truth, he might as well learn it from the source.
You wouldn't.
I would and I will. I refuse to be bullied, handled, or maneuvered. Nor will I have my word doubted.
Betty, don't let it...
Bring me the telephone.
No! Betty, whatever you may think of me, don't let this happen. Don't let him make that call. Martin, please.
Mr. Cord's office.
You're really not giving me a choice, are you?
No. No choice at all. I'm sorry, Betty. There was no choice to give. Our agreements still stand.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
Me and Chris. That's all I care about.
Let Chris go. Let him go.
Betty's married to Stephen. If anybody should fight for her, it should be him, shouldn't it? Not this time. Are you mixed up with Betty again?
No, you don't understand.
Now, why is it, whenever you have something to say to Rodney, it's without me? Why couldn't we discuss these things together, the three of us?
Not true.
Why is it always without me?